We go to the next point. After having seen the various rules of logical division, 5 rules we are given, now we are referring to a few special kinds of division. Some terms are used, but then what does it mean? The first one is, which is slightly important, that is division by dichotomy, or we can use also the adjectival form division by dichotomy or dichotomous division. Dichotomous, M-O-U-S. So dichotomous division or division by dichotomy, they mean the same. Then what is that? It is the process of splitting the genus, that means a class, into subclasses or species. One of which is positive, the other is the direct contradictory. That means we are dividing one class. That is we put it a term genus, one big class. When you divide, we are dividing the genus into species, into subclasses. So we are dividing this here. This particular type of division is such. There are only 2 subdivisions. One is what is called the humans are divided into Christians, and the rest are put as non-Christians. So humans are divided into Christians and non-Christians. All the rest is put in the other group. Logically correct, because every human being is included either in the group of Christians or in the group of non-Christians. And it is exhaustive. It is and both the groups we can use all the rules that we have said are realized in this kind of division. But there are some weaknesses are there. But it is not logically correct. But then there are some weaknesses. What is that one? So here we said, again to clarify, dividing into 2 groups. One is something which is positive, Christians, Indians, Americans. The other is the direct contradictory. You put them with a non. Dividing humans into Americans and non-Americans. All the rest are put with the non. So one group and the rest is put with the addition of non. The Indians are divided into Hindus and non-Hindus, animals into dogs and non-dogs, etc. Dichotomous division is based on the law of excluded middle. 3 laws of logical laws. We have already seen the 3 laws, the 3 principles. Principle of identity, principle of non-contradiction, and principle of excluded middle. So logic is based on what we have already seen. So here this division is based on the rule of excluded middle, law of excluded middle. Nothing is left because everyone is either Christians or non-Christians. I said when I explained the meaning of that 3 principles, everything, this is a piece of chalk or not a piece of chalk. This is an elephant or not an elephant. Correct statement. Because anything, whatever it is, it can be placed in one or the other group. So, insofar as it's not an elephant, it can be placed in the group of non-elephant. Therefore, logically, so that is the reason why we said this division is based on the law of excluded middle. This law states that A is either B or non-B. Everything is either this or its opposite. Therefore, everything is included in that one. Of these 2 alternatives, one can be predicated of any subject. All that I have said is put in simpler, in more precise language here. Although dichotomous division is logically correct, it has its disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? Such as it does not give the complete knowledge of the genus, since the various species are not mentioned. For instance, we say humans are divided into Americans and non-Americans. There, it is logically correct, but then we don't get a full picture of the humans. Suppose we had to divide, we were to say humans are divided into Americans, Europeans, Asians, Africans, Australians, and so on, then we have a better picture of the humans divided into different continents. But if you say simply Americans and the rest put in the big basket of non-Americans, it does not give the full real picture. Logically correct, but this problem is that one. The other one of the species appears to be more prominent than the other subordinates. The other are subordinate. For instance, the humans are divided into Americans and non-Americans. So, Christians and non-Christians. Who is superior? Christians. All the rest are put in a big waste basket. Hindus, Muslims, Parsis, everyone is put in a big basket where they are subordinate. This is important. So that problem also is there. But it's not a logical problem, but then we are only referring to the weakness of this particular division. After having said that is a dichotomous division or division by dichotomy, we are referring also to a few illogical divisions. One we have already seen, physical division. It is a division of an individual object into its parts. So building into foundation, walls and the roof, tree into roots, trunk, branches and leaves. We are dividing an individual object or a person into its parts, physical division. Metaphysical division, it is the division of something into its metaphysical constituents, such as the object is divided into matter and form, which you have studied in Aristotle. Matter and form. So it is not a logically correct division, but then it is a division, but it's called a metaphysical division. Matter and form, or man into animality and rationality. So it is not a physical division, it is not a logical division, but it is called a metaphysical division. How something is constituted metaphysically, or act and potency. These are all different terms philosophers have found out. That is called metaphysical division. A third one is verbal division, that is the division of a term into its various meanings. Hit into blow and a great success. I gave a hit, that has the meaning of a blow, but the same has got in the sense of it was a great hit. This film was a great hit. It means a great success. So these are not logical division, but then a few expressions are used with the word division. Therefore, we are clarifying what does it mean. Metaphysical division. The term division is used correctly, but then it is not logical division. But we can also divide an object metaphysically. We can also divide an object physically. We can also divide an object verbally. So that is, but then they are not logical division. Then other one is dichotomous division. Division is logically correct, but then it has got certain weaknesses. Now we are introducing also just giving a little thought on classification. Not little thought, we are making it precise, because we use the expression one for the other. Ordinarily, we divide, we classify. But is there a difference? As logic is meant to make things clear and precise, there should not be any confusion. What is the specific meaning of division as different from classification? That is what we are going to do here. We consider classification here because of its similarity with and contrast to division. Very similar. We are classifying and at the same time we are dividing. At the same time, they are not the same. There is a difference. That difference we are going to point out. Division is the analysis of the denotation of a term, while classification is the grouping together of the particulars. Now, it will come again. I have taken point by point. Here I am putting them together and then we are taking point by point. Now here the most important distinction between division and classification is this. When you divide, we are separating Asians from Africans and from Europeans, from what is called Americans. We are separating, separating. So we separate. But when you classify, although we may think that we are doing the same act, it is not the same act. When you classify, how do you classify? We bring together, just the opposite. We bring together what? Based on similarity. For example, you are classifying the books into books of history, books on science, books on something else. How do you classify in the library? All those books which are there, you bring them together. This is a book on history. Come on here. This is another book on history. You bring them together. We are not based on similarity. When you go to the village for conducting sports, how do you divide the children into 2 or 3 groups? Seniors, juniors, sub-juniors, and so on. How do you divide? You put them, you be here, you be there. You are bringing them together based on the similarity. That is what we do in classification. Now I think I take the point by point because I don't have to read all that is given in the first paragraph. They are clarified in the following sub points that are given there. So that is, the first point is division is analysis, separating, what I already told, insofar as it separates one group into its subgroups, while classification is synthesis. So that is the term. See, the difference between analysis is separating, analyzing something. We are analyzing, splitting or dissecting, separating, dividing, separating. And other one, classification, is what? Synthesizing, bringing together. Bringing together insofar as it brings the individuals together into a group. So I am just putting them together in classifying. Come on, these things are put together. This one is put together here. Another one is put together here. Why they are put together? Because there is similarity here. All those who are put together. There is similarity here because they are put together here. Third one, put together there. Looks the end result may look same. We are dividing, but actually what we do is not dividing. We are bringing together based. Now that point will come immediately. Division is based on the points of difference, but classification is done on the basis of resemblance. We divide the trees into teak tree, mango tree, and so on the basis of the different. Mango tree is different from a teak tree. We are separating this group of trees from another group of trees based on the difference. Mango trees are different from teak trees. But when you classify, what do? We are classifying on the basis of resemblance, similarity. Either you classify, you bring together the books that are dealing with the science. You bring together the books that are dealing with the history, with the philosophy. We are bring together. And again, you bring together maybe another way of, we can bring together books that are what is called small books or hardbound books. We have different ways of bringing together. What is the criterion by which you bring together? The similarity. So this is a small book, this is a small book, we put them together. This is a hardbound copy, this is another hardbound copy, we put them together. So based on similarity, we bring together in classification. We have to take everything together, all the various. Division is formal insofar as we divide a class into its subclasses, irrespective of their being actually present or not. Classification is material. What does it mean? Insofar as it takes into consideration only that which is actually present. When you divide, we divide books. We are dividing the denotation of the term book. That means all the books in the world. In that division, all the books will be included. When you divide humans, all the humans will be included. Americans need not be here. Africans need not be here. But we are dividing humans into Asians, Africans, Americans, and so on. That is the denotation, the whole term, the denotation of the term, we are dividing into different subgroups. Denotation. They are not actually present. In the conceptual level, we are dividing. We are dividing humans into this thing. Every human is included in that one. But when you classify, what do? We are classifying only that which is present. We are classifying the books. We are classifying the books into the available books. We are bringing them together. So many books are brought together. Now, come on, you classify. How do you classify? Take each book. This deals with history. I put it here. This deals with science. I put it here. This deals with the philosophy. I put there. Again, I found one other dealing with history. I put it here. These individuals are brought together based on the similarity. Every term is important. Logic, there is no loose speaking. Every term is important. So there you cannot take a break. So based on similarity, I just bring together. The division is formal insofar as we divide the class into subclasses. They need not be present. We are dividing the denotation of the term. Denotation of the term we are dividing. All the humans are to be included in the division. All the trees are to be included in the division of tree. But when you classify the trees here in this campus, then only those trees which are actually present. There, we look at this tree. This is a teak tree. Come on, it is a one group. These are all sapota or another group. So we are making the individual objects into bringing them together. That is classification, and that is called it is material, not formal. And then finally, division begins with the genus, whereas classification with the individual object. We begin with the genus. Genus means the big class. That we are dividing into subclasses. But when you classify, we are not looking at the genus, the big class. We are dividing each individual. We are classifying each individual and bringing them together. This individual is catch holding and put it here. Another one also is similar. Okay, put it here. A third one I found is similar to that one. Therefore, I put there. So we classify. How do you classify? Starting with the individual person or individual object, and then bring them together based on similarity, resemblance. But when you divide, we divide one class into subclasses based on difference. Asians are separated from Africans based on the difference. These are different from they. Therefore, they are separated. So, these are the main difference between classification and division. Looks apparently is very simple, but then in order to have a clear picture, we must know what exactly is division, separating based on difference. Africans are different from Asians. We separate them. But when you classify, there are so many people here. Among them, some happen to be Africans, some happen to be Asians, some happen to be Europeans. How do you classify? You are an African, come on here. You are an African, come here. You are a European, come here. You bring the individuals together, bring them together into small groups. That is, we are classifying. That is why there is a lot of misunderstanding is there, taking division and classification as synonymous. They are not synonymous logically, although in the ordinary language we may use them as synonymous, but they are not synonymous. They are different in logical terms. One we are separating, the other one we are bringing together.